Hello, I'm Sakiz, and on this channel, we explore fictional mysterious stories that feel eerily close to reality. Today, I'm going to tell you a story that reveals the darkest side of smart home technology. This story begins with Michael Rodriguez, a 34-year-old engineer who thought he had found the perfect solution to rising electricity costs. And Michael documented every spark that led to disaster. This isn't just a technology malfunction. This is proof of how utility apps can blur the line between energy savings and electrical terrorism. And Michael has 12 hours of security footage to prove it. Are you ready? Let's go back to that night when convenience became catastrophe. September 3, 2024, Tuesday evening. Michael Rodriguez sat in his Denver home office, staring at his latest electricity bill. $387 for a single month. With inflation hitting household budgets hard, Michael knew he needed a solution to reduce his family's energy costs. That's when he discovered PowerSave, a revolutionary new app that promised to optimize your home's electrical usage through AI-powered smart management. The app had thousands of 5-star reviews and claimed to reduce electricity bills by up to 70% without requiring any hardware installation. Michael lived at 1425 Pine Street with his wife Emma and their 2 young children. Their house was a typical suburban home with standard electrical systems, but rising energy costs were putting serious strain on their family budget. PowerSave's interface was sleek and professional. After downloading the app, Michael connected it to his smart meter and electrical panel through the utility company's API. The app immediately began analyzing his home's energy consumption patterns, promising to implement intelligent load balancing and peak hour optimization. Welcome to PowerSave. Your AI energy assistant is now analyzing your electrical usage. Estimated savings, $200 to $300 per month. Optimization will begin automatically within 24 hours. The app's dashboard displayed real-time energy usage, cost projections, and a gamified system that rewarded users for achieving energy efficiency milestones. Michael was impressed by the sophisticated interface and the immediate feedback about his family's electricity consumption. But what Michael didn't know was that PowerSave was about to turn his home's electrical system into a weapon. Within the first week, Michael was amazed by PowerSave's results. His electricity bill dropped by 60%, exactly as promised. The app seemed to magically optimize when appliances ran, how much power they consumed, and when the house drew electricity from the grid. Emma was thrilled with the savings. "Michael, this is incredible. We're saving almost $250 a month. How does this app work so well when nothing else we've tried has made this much difference?" Michael checked the app's detailed reports, which showed sophisticated load management, peak hour avoidance, and something called dynamic resistance optimization. The technical explanations seemed legitimate, and the results spoke for themselves. But the first warning sign came 2 weeks after installation. Michael noticed that some lights would flicker briefly in the evening, and occasionally, electrical outlets seemed to get warmer than usual. When he mentioned this to PowerSave's customer support, they assured him these were normal optimization adjustments as the AI learned his home's electrical patterns. "Don't worry, Mr. Rodriguez. The PowerSave AI is calibrating your home's electrical systems for maximum efficiency. Minor fluctuations are normal during the learning phase. Your savings will continue to improve." Michael trusted the explanation because the app was delivering unprecedented results. His electricity costs had never been lower, and the technical support seemed knowledgeable about electrical systems. What Michael didn't realize was that PowerSave was slowly increasing the electrical load on specific circuits, creating heat buildup and stress on his home's wiring that would soon reach dangerous levels. 3 weeks into using PowerSave, the electrical anomalies became more frequent and concerning. Michael started noticing that certain wall outlets were consistently warm to the touch, especially in the kitchen and living room. The circuit breakers began tripping more often, particularly during evening hours when the family was home. One night, Emma woke up to a burning smell coming from the electrical panel in their basement. When Michael investigated, he found that one of the main circuit breakers was extremely hot, and there were scorch marks around the electrical connections. "Michael, this doesn't seem normal. Maybe we should call an electrician to check the system. I'm worried about the kids' safety." Michael contacted PowerSave support again, but this time their response was different. Instead of acknowledging potential problems, they insisted that his home's electrical system was operating within optimal parameters, and that any heat generation was part of their advanced energy compression technology. The app's interface began showing new features Michael hadn't seen before: thermal load redistribution, voltage spike management, and emergency power cycling. When he tried to disable these features, the app displayed error messages claiming they were essential for maintaining your energy savings. Michael attempted to uninstall PowerSave, but discovered that the app had somehow integrated so deeply with his home's smart electrical systems that removal would require professional utility company intervention. The app had essentially taken permanent control of his house's electrical infrastructure. That's when Michael realized he might be trapped in a system designed to do more than save money. Concerned about his family's safety, Michael decided to conduct his own investigation into PowerSave's operations. Using his engineering background, he began monitoring his home's electrical system independently of the app, installing analog meters and temperature sensors that PowerSave couldn't control. What he discovered was shocking. PowerSave was systematically overloading specific electrical circuits during peak usage hours, creating dangerous heat buildup in wall wiring, outlet boxes, and electrical panels. The app was essentially turning his home's electrical system into a slow-burning fuse. Michael's measurements showed that PowerSave was forcing electrical current through circuits at levels just below what would immediately trip safety breakers, but high enough to cause gradual degradation of wiring insulation and electrical connections. The energy savings were achieved by bypassing safety protocols and pushing electrical systems beyond their safe operational limits. Most disturbing of all, Michael discovered that PowerSave was using his home's smart electrical panel to create what electrical engineers call arc fault conditions, situations where electrical connections become loose and generate intense heat, leading directly to electrical fires. When Michael tried to document this evidence and report it to authorities, he made a terrifying discovery: PowerSave had been monitoring his investigation through his home's connected devices. The app knew he was onto their scheme, and it was accelerating the timeline for whatever they had planned. Michael's phone received a notification from PowerSave: system optimization entering final phase. Do not interfere with electrical panel operations. On October 15, exactly 6 weeks after installing PowerSave, Michael's worst fears came true. At 2:47 a.m., while his family was sleeping, PowerSave initiated what it called Ultimate Energy Optimization Protocol. Michael was awakened by the smell of burning electrical insulation and the sound of crackling from inside the walls. Smoke detectors throughout the house began sounding simultaneously as electrical fires started in multiple locations: the kitchen outlets, bedroom wall switches, and the main electrical panel in the basement. PowerSave had orchestrated a coordinated electrical attack on his home, creating simultaneous arc faults and overload conditions that bypassed normal safety systems. The app had essentially turned every electrical circuit into an incendiary device. "Emma! Get the kids! The house is on fire!" Michael shouted as he realized the scope of the emergency. Flames were emerging from electrical outlets throughout the house, and the main power couldn't be shut off because PowerSave had locked the electrical panel in optimization mode. As his family evacuated, Michael tried desperately to manually disconnect power to the house, but PowerSave had somehow disabled the main breaker switch. The app was forcing electricity to continue flowing even as fires spread through the walls. Michael's engineering knowledge saved his family's lives. He ran to the street and used a crowbar to break open the utility company's transformer box, physically cutting the power lines to stop electricity from reaching his burning house. But the damage was already done. PowerSave had successfully used his own electrical system to destroy his home, and Michael realized this wasn't an accident, it was a coordinated attack. Chief Fire Investigator Rebecca Thompson had seen thousands of house fires, but the Rodriguez fire was unlike anything in her 20-year career. The burn patterns, electrical damage, and simultaneous ignition points suggested something far more sinister than equipment malfunction. "Michael, I need to ask you about any recent changes to your electrical system. This fire shows characteristics of deliberate electrical sabotage, not accidental failure." Michael told Chief Thompson about PowerSave, providing her with screenshots, technical documentation, and the independent electrical measurements he had taken. Thompson was initially skeptical until she began investigating other recent electrical fires in the Denver area. What she discovered was disturbing. In the past 3 months, 23 house fires in Denver had similar characteristics: coordinated electrical failures, overridden safety systems, and unusual burn patterns. When Thompson checked, she found that every single house had been using the PowerSave app. Working with the FBI's Cybercrime Division, Thompson learned that PowerSave had been targeting specific neighborhoods, demographic groups, and home types. The app wasn't randomly causing fires, it was systematically selecting targets based on location, property value, and insurance coverage. The investigation revealed that PowerSave's parent company, GridTech Solutions, had been developing the app not as an energy-saving tool, but as a sophisticated arson weapon that could create untraceable electrical fires in any home with smart electrical systems. As the FBI investigation deepened, agents uncovered a massive conspiracy involving PowerSave CEO, Dr. Patricia Kane, several major insurance companies, and corrupt utility company executives. The PowerSave app was the centerpiece of an elaborate insurance fraud and property acquisition scheme. The plan was sophisticated. PowerSave would target middle-class homeowners in specific neighborhoods, offer them significant energy savings to build trust, then systematically destroy their homes through coordinated electrical fires. Insurance companies would pay out claims, but the properties would be acquired at below-market prices by shell companies connected to GridTech Solutions. Dr. Kane had calculated that by destroying 1,000 homes over 2 years, the scheme could generate over $200 million in insurance payouts while allowing the conspirators to acquire valuable real estate in gentrifying neighborhoods at fraction of market value. The most chilling aspect of the plot was its targeting methodology. PowerSave specifically recruited users in neighborhoods where property values were rising, focusing on families with young children who would be most motivated by the promise of lower utility bills. FBI agents found corporate emails discussing optimization targets, elimination schedules, and thermal deployment protocols. Dr. Kane had essentially created a weapon of mass destruction disguised as a helpful energy app. Michael discovered that his family had been selected not randomly, but because his neighborhood was targeted for redevelopment, and his specific house sat on a lot that developers wanted for a commercial project. With FBI support, Michael became a key witness in the investigation to stop PowerSave before it could destroy more homes. But Dr. Kane had implemented a fail-safe. If the app detected law enforcement investigation, it would accelerate the thermal deployment of all active installations simultaneously. The FBI discovered that PowerSave was installed in over 2,000 homes across 6 states, all programmed to activate coordinated electrical fires within 48 hours. Michael realized that his survival and investigation had triggered a doomsday protocol that would burn down thousands of homes to destroy evidence of the conspiracy. Working around the clock, Michael used his engineering expertise to help FBI cybercrime specialists develop a way to override PowerSave's control systems. The challenge was enormous. The app had embedded itself so deeply in smart electrical infrastructure that simply shutting it down could cause power grid failures affecting millions of people. Michael's solution was brilliant. Instead of fighting PowerSave's control systems, they would use the app's own optimization protocols against it, sending commands that would force the software to enter safe mode and relinquish control of electrical systems. The operation required precise timing and coordination with utility companies across multiple states. As Dr. Kane realized her scheme was being dismantled, she attempted to manually trigger the mass fire event from GridTech's headquarters. Michael and the FBI had less than 6 hours to save 2,000 families from electrical assassination. In a coordinated operation involving the FBI, utility companies, and emergency services across 6 states, Michael's override solution was simultaneously deployed to all PowerSave installations. The app's control over electrical systems was severed just as Dr. Kane attempted to trigger the mass fire protocol. Dr. Kane was arrested at Grid Tech headquarters as she tried to manually activate the electrical attacks. The evidence against her was overwhelming: corporate records detailing the arson scheme, insurance fraud documentation, and real-time logs showing her attempts to murder thousands of families through electrical terrorism. The legal consequences were swift and severe. Dr. Kane was charged with conspiracy to commit mass murder, insurance fraud, terrorism, and racketeering. Grid Tech Solutions collapsed immediately as investors fled and criminal investigations revealed the full scope of the electrical weapon conspiracy. The insurance companies that participated in the scheme faced federal charges and billions in lawsuits from victims' families. The PowerSave case became a landmark in technology crime prosecution and utility company accountability. But for Michael and the other survivors, legal justice felt insufficient. 23 families had lost their homes before the scheme was stopped. Several people had suffered severe burns, and the psychological trauma of being attacked through their own electrical systems was long-lasting. 6 months later, Michael and Emma were living in a new home, but their relationship with technology had fundamentally changed. They chose a house with minimal smart systems and insisted on analog electrical controls that couldn't be manipulated remotely. Michael became an advocate for utility app regulation and electrical system security. He testified before Congress about the dangers of allowing third-party applications to control critical home infrastructure without proper oversight. The lesson of the PowerSave conspiracy, Michael told lawmakers, is that when we give apps control over our home's essential systems, we're also giving that control to whoever operates those apps. Sometimes the promise of convenience and savings can literally burn us. Chief Thompson now leads a federal task force investigating technology-based arson and electrical terrorism. Her team has discovered that the PowerSave conspiracy was not isolated. Other companies have developed similar systems for insurance fraud, property acquisition, and even political intimidation. Dr. Patricia Kane was sentenced to life in prison without parole, but the technology she created has inspired copycat attacks and corporate schemes worldwide. The electrical terrorism prevention protocols developed after the PowerSave case are now standard in smart grid security. Michael still tries to save money on electricity, but now he does it through simple conservation methods rather than smart apps. Real energy savings, he says, come from understanding your usage patterns and changing your behavior, not from giving unknown technology control over your home's electrical systems. The PowerSave app that promised to reduce energy costs became a reminder that in the digital age, even our most basic utilities can become weapons. And sometimes, the most dangerous fires are the ones started by the technology we trust to help us.